Anne-Kathrin continues her journey along the old Iron Curtain. Today's destination is the tiny town of Hurtensleben on the eastern side of the border. It's one of the few places where you can still see what life was really like near the border during the Cold War.
The people in the village of Hurtensleben were so close to the German border that not only a fence locked them off the west, but also a thick wall.
This is the only place in Germany where you can see such a long stretch of perfectly preserved old border fortifications. The 350-metre-long section is now a protected site. Achim Walter has been living in Hurtensleben for over 30 years. When the communist regime fell in East Germany, he campaigned to preserve this part of the border.
So how did the people of Hurtensleben react when you wanted to keep the border even though it didn't exist anymore?
Some people were outraged and totally against it. They collected a total of 400 signatures. I understand how they felt, because they did spend 40 years living next to this monstrosity.
Today, the old border fortifications are an important monument. 10 kilometers down the road is Helmstedt-Marienborn, the largest of the old border crossings, and today an official memorial site that attracts 150,000 visitors a year. All passengers travelling in either direction were subjected to thorough controls. Ronald Guttermann was an East German border guard here. He shows Anne-Kathrin how travellers' papers were passed on from one office to the next.
So how often did you witness people trying to escape, and what did you feel then?
I witnessed it 6 or 7 times. I always felt differently depending on the situation. We made an effort not to open fire.
These days, border checks are just for show. Back then, they were used to prevent people escaping from the east and to stop certain goods being smuggled in from the west, like newspapers or items that could be used for escape attempts. Then, practically overnight, the border checks became a thing of the past. It was a moment that sparked emotional celebrations in both parts of Germany and further afield. On the 9th of November 1989, the East German authorities opened the first border crossings. People were now able to travel freely across the border, and East German cars soon began backing up at crossings. There are still some 37,000 Trabants out on the roads of Germany, and they enjoy cult status. The Trabant was the best-selling car in East Germany, but like other luxury goods, subject to long waiting lists. Melanie Kapitza is the proud owner of a Trabant. For her, it's more about fun than getting from A to B. Anne-Kathrin wonders why Melanie would want to drive a rather cramped and uncomfortable car.
The rattling is all part of the fun. My granddad put me on the waiting list for one when I was born in 1977. It was finally delivered in 1989. I can't get enough of it. Driving a Trabi is great.
Today, the Trabis, as they're affectionately known, are also a tourist attraction. You can hire them out for a sentimental journey into the past.
For many people, these East German cars are rolling memories, since this is the sound of the GDR, a rattling two-stroke engine, and a two-stroke engine is also in my Schwalbe, which was the scooter classic of the East.
Convoys of Trabants heading west 20 years ago were the quintessential symbol of German reunification. And as their numbers dwindle, these pint-sized cars can still stir the emotions.